Hi guys, this is Shegun here from P3D, and in today's tutorial we're going to be making this simple IPOD, and without wasting much time, let's get into it. Alright, so what I'll first like to do is press A to delete everything in my scene, press Shift A and add in the cube again. So what I would like to do next is I'm going to go to my top view now, and I'm just going to press SY to scale this on the Y axis, just depending on how long I want that to be. Alright, I feel like that is okay. Then I'm going to press SZ to scale it on the Z axis. Something like this is alright. Then if I go back to my top view by pressing this gizmo here, what I'll do is I'll press SZ, and then I feel like I will scale it. Something like that is okay. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to press Ctrl A to apply scale. But if you will save yourself a lot of time, what you can do is you can add the basic operations in Blender and make it quick favorite. So for instance, operations like scale and shade auto smooth as operations you perform regularly in Blender, so you can just assign it a quick favorite. To do that, just come to your scale here and just right click, add to queue favorite. Now if I select this again and I press Q this time around, you can see scale is there. So for the basic operations that you'll be doing, it's quite time saving to include them in quick favorites. Alright, so what we'll do next now is I'm just going to go to edge mode by pressing 2 or coming right here and clicking. What I'll do is I'm just going to select these 4 edges right here, and then I'm just going to press Ctrl B to bevel. Now it's very important that you have your scale applied so that the bevels will be even. Alright, so we have this now. Right click, shade auto smooth, or just like I said before, add it to quick favorite to save yourself a lot of time. So right click again, add to quick favorite. So if I press Q now, shade auto smooth. Alright, good. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be applying a Boolean cut to this object right here. Let's firstly rename that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to rename this IPOD. So what I'll do is, first of all, I'm going to go to edit preferences, and then we'll be using a special add-on called the Bool tool. So just go to your add-ons panel here and just type in Bool tool. Make sure this add-on is enabled because we're going to be using it. Alright, so with that done, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to press Shift A, and then I'm going to add in a cube, and then you just want to scale it inwards a bit. Then you want to press GY to just move it up. This is going to serve as the screen. So I'm just going to scale it on the Y again. So GY to move this along up to about the middle there. Alright, I feel that is okay. And then what you can do is just bring it up GZ, and you just want it to touch the screen a bit. Now again, don't forget Ctrl A to apply scale, or if you have already assigned to quick favorites, just press scale. So what we'll do next is I'm just going to tab into edit mode, and then still in your edge mode, I want you to select these 4 edges right here. Press Ctrl B to bevel that out a bit, something like that. You can make the number of segments to be 4 using your scroll wheel, and that is okay. So Q again, shade auto smooth. Now what I want to do next is I'm just going to select this cutter right here, shift click on the IPOD, then if I press N to bring out my sidebar here, come to the brush pooling, I want it to be difference. So now you can see that the cube is cutting through our mesh, which is very nice, which is what I want to do. However, I'm just going to press GZ to bring this up again like this. That is very perfect. So now what I'll do is I can just press N to close that. So what I want to do is I'm going to press M to move this to a new collection, and I'm going to call this collection cutter. Now I will disable, click OK, and then I'm just going to disable this collection so that it doesn't appear in my scene, which is very nice. Alright, so we have that done. Now the next thing I want to do is if I come here and I tab into edit mode, if I press it to go to face select mode, I want to add in a little bit of detail here. So what I want to do is I'm just going to press I to insert a face, not too much, just slightly, something like that. And if I go to side view, what I want to do now is I just want to press E to extrude this out a bit like this. Yeah, something like that is okay. Then I'm just going to shift click. I'm going to go to my edge mode, select this edge right here, shift click, select this edge right here. So make sure that both of them are selected. Come to your edge and then just mark sharp. Alright, cool. So we have this now. The next thing is, let's apply another cut to serve as our scroll wheel for the iPod. So what I will do now is I'm just going to press Shift A, and then I'm going to add in a circle, GZ to bring it up. Yeah, something, yeah, like that. GZ to bring it up. Then what I want to do is, when I press Alt Z now, I'm just going to scale this in like this. Shift Z to see what I'm doing. Just wireframe. Alright, I'm still going to scale it inwards a bit. I'm looking at the reference here, so then I'm just going to press GY to move it up, then Shift Z again to go back to solid view. Alright, cool. Now if I press tab to go into edit mode, 1 to select vertex mode, what I want to do is I'm going to press E to extrude, then right click to put it back in position, then S just to scale inwards, like this. Alright, cool. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to press GZ to grab this up, and then I'm going to tab back into edit mode, press A to select everything, and then I'm just going to press E to extrude down like this. Nice. So what I'm going to do is, you can press Q, shade auto smooth, Q again, apply scale. So what we'll do now is click on the wheel and then select the iPod last, N again, and then we're just going to apply another difference boolean. Alright, so I'm just going to press GZ to grab this up a bit, something like this will be okay. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this to the cutter selection as well. Before I do that, I'm just going to press Shift D to duplicate this. Then if I bring back my sidebar here, Bool 2, I just want to remove this brush on the duplicate. Then I'll select the main cutter here, and then M, I'm going to move it to my cutter selection again. Nice. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to go to my side view, and I'm going to press SZ, scale this on the Z axis, and then I'm just going to press GZ again, and then just bring it in like this again, SZ and GZ again. Alright, so that's awesome. So again, what I'll do is, actually I think I should bring it up just a bit like that. I'm going to press Q, and I'm going to apply scale, Q, shade auto smooth. Nice. So we have the wheel. Now you can parent it to this. So select the wheel, shift click on the mesh here, and then just press Ctrl P, object keep transform. Also with the wheel selected, it's important, what we want to do is just make sure that this camera is on check, because you know it was a cutter, so the cutters won't show in my scene. So by default it's going to be disabled, but you need to bring it back. So make sure that this camera icon is showing. Alright, nice. Next thing I want to do is, with my pressing 3 to go to face select mode, Shift S and press 2, cutter selected. I'm going to be adding in another cutter. So I'm going to press Shift A, and then I'm going to select a cube again, scale it down, something like that. This is going to serve as our charging port. You can scale it up again, then scale it on the X axis, SX, and then just scale it on the X axis like that. You can go to your front view to see this. Alright, so I'm just going to press GX and move it along like this, and let me reduce the size of that to something like this. I'm checking for my reference, I just want to be accurate here. Right, I feel like it's longer than that, but don't forget we're not actually designing this to scale, it's just to be accurate. Alright, cool. So the next thing I want to do now is, if I press slash to go to my local view, what I'm going to do now is, first off I'm going to press Q, and then I'm going to shade also smooth. I'm just going to press Q again, apply scale. Let's just press 3 and delete this face right here. Alright, with the face deleted, now I can go back to my edge mode, select these 4 edges, and then what we're going to do, I'm just going to press Ctrl B. I'm going to bevel this. You don't want to bevel it too much, still retain that square. Yeah, something like that is okay. Then slash to go back to my global view. You know the next thing we're going to do. So Shift click on this iPod again, can bring back the bool, then we're going to give it another difference boolean. Now in case it's too much again, let's apply some of the booleans. We don't really need them. Apply, and let's leave the last one because we're still okay. You can go to your front view. I'm just going to press Shift A, and we're going to be adding in a circle. So RX90 to rotate it by 90 degrees on the x-axis. Scale it down. So this is going to serve as the headphone jack. So scale it again. Then GX, move it along the x-axis like that. Alright, cool. So what we'll do now is you can tab into edit mode, and what you want to do is if you just tab back and move this on the y-axis, let's tab in again, and what I'll do now is I'll just press E, Y, and then just make sure that it intersects with the mesh. That's awesome. So now I'm just going to press Q, shade auto smooth, Q, apply scale. Now you know the next thing we're going to do, again apply the difference boolean, and there you go. So we're pretty much done with applying booleans. Let's select this cutter here and this one, move to the cutter selection. Awesome. So what we'll do next is if I just select the iPod and tab back into edit mode, going to my front view, we need to create like a screen. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm just going to click with in my vertex mode by pressing 1 or coming here. I'm just going to click and drag over this area here and make sure that it's selected. Yes, that's selected. So what I want to do is I'm just going to press E and then click my right mouse button, then S to just scale that inwards. Awesome. And then I'm just going to press F to fill in a face. So this part is going to serve for the screen, and then this part is going to serve as just a part of the screen but not really reflective. Alright, so we can tab out of edit. Alright, so a quick one before we continue. If you come to our overlay panel here, and then we just turn on face orientation, what you will observe is that every other part of the iPod is blue outside except for the screen part. So we need to change that. So if we tab into edit mode and go to our top view like this, what I want you to do is make sure you're in vertex mode. Just click and drag over this area here, select the reddish part, and then just press Shift N to recalculate that normal, and by the time you've done that, it's set to blue. It's really very important so that when you're applying the materials, everything is going to look normal. So you can just turn on face orientation and we can continue. Now we can apply all our booleans. Apply. Now the next thing I'm going to do is let's just add a little bevel modifier, and then we can just add a little bit of bevel to. Alright, that's cool. Now by the time I apply bevel, you're going to be seeing all this jagged shading here. What we're going to do is just go to your modifier and apply your weighted normal modifier, and that should be good. Now make sure you turn on the keep sharp. Alright, so we can start adding in materials now. To do that, what we're going to do is press Shift S1, cursor to origin, and then I'm going to firstly add in a plane, and then I'm going to my front view. What I want to do is I'm going to press GZ to bring that down below the iPod, and then S to scale it 9 times. Nice. So the next thing I'll do now is I'll press Shift A, and then I'm going to add in a camera, and then I'm just going to press Ctrl Alt number pad 0 to bring it to my view here. Press G to bring it somewhere around here, then G, then with my middle mouse button I'm just going to drag out like this. Then what I'll do is the focal length, I'm just going to give it 70 because the product. So G, middle mouse, scroll wheel, just drag out like this. Alright, so I feel like that's okay. Well, you can rotate it if you don't like the orientation, but I feel like that's good. I feel like we should move it out a bit again. So G, then my middle mouse, I'm just dragging out like this. Alright, that's nice. Go back to my viewport shading. Now the way we're going to be lighting our scene is very different. What I'm doing is I'm using an HDRI by default to light my scene, and I'm just going to show you the setup quick. So the way it works is if I come to my word here, by default if you go to your word, these 3 right here will not be there. So if I delete that, what we're going to do is we're going to be using an HDRI to light our scene. So the HDRI I'll be using is called Abandoned Sleepway, and you can get it on HDRI even. It's absolutely free, and once you've done that, what you will just do is make sure you're in the word. You're going to press Shift A, and then you're going to add in a texture. You're going to add in an image texture, and then you're just going to bring it here. You're going to click open. Then wherever you've saved it, you're just going to go there. So it's saved in my download as abandoned sleepway, so I'm just going to click this, and I'm just going to click open image. So now if I just press this color input and drag it here, so I'm just going to press Ctrl T and map it to that, and there you go. So you have this setup as well. So what we'll do now is, if I go back to my layout, what I'll do is I'm just going to start giving this some basic materials. So let's just go back to object mode to do that. So for the iPod, what I'll first do is I'm going to give it a new material, and then this material I'm just going to make it apple green, something like this for base color. Then for metallic value, you want it to be 1. Then the roughness, you can leave it at 0.3, like that. Alright, that's cool. Then we're still going to create another material for this side over here. Let's go to our front view. So deselect everything, and then just click and drag out over this area here, and then we're just going to click this plus icon, and then we're going to create a new material, the first material, and then double click on this folder icon to make it a separate material, and I'm just going to make it white. Alright, that's cool. Then you can assign this material to it. So now if you go back to our viewport shading, you can see now these two areas have different colors, which is cool. So I'm going to apply this white material also to this one as well. So I'm just going to click this material for this as well. Now for the screen, let's select the iPod again. What we're just simply going to do is tab back into edit mode, and then I'm just going to create a new material as well. So this material is going to be a glossy material, so change the surface to glossy, and then what I want to do is I just want it to make reduce the value down a bit like this. Then the roughness as well, I want to drag it down to serve as more or less of a screen. Alright, which is cool. Then you can keep this white, then you can click assign. Then what we'll do is I'm just going to select this area as well, this one right here, and then what we'll do is just I'm going to shift on this, and then shift alt to select everything here, then select another material for this again, so click on it. Now you can select the second material we just created, double click on the folder, but this one you want it to be black, and then the roughness you can reduce it down a bit too. So tabbing out now, looking through our camera, we have this, which is awesome, but this hasn't been assigned yet, so let's assign that. Nice, now it has been assigned. Alright, so looking through our camera, this is what we have. Alright, so for the screen material, I feel like we can just make it dark too. Yeah, something like that will do. Then for the plane, what you can do is give it a new material, set the base color to be black, and also what else, turn the roughness to 1, and then you can just leave it at that specularity value. So what we'll do now is we want to add in light to our scene, because I'm not going to be using the HDRI alone to light this scene. So what I'll do is I'll just reduce the strength of the HDRI to something like 0.3. You can see now that it's a little bit darker. So what we'll do is I'm just going to press Shift A now, and then I'm just going to add in an area light. I'm just going to press G and move it somewhere around here like this. Press R to rotate. Then if I come to my light panel here, I want to change it from square to rectangle. Then I'm just going to click and drag out like this, which is nice. Cool. Alright, so the power is set to 10 watts. So what I want you to do is change it to somewhere around 500 watts. Move this away from it a bit, which is nice. So to finish this up now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in some bunch of reflectors to my scene, and to just reflect some of the lights that is coming from here. Reflectors are used in photography just to deflect light and shine some of the lights that is coming from the main light source to the object. So I'm just going to press it here. So this is basically how I light my scene now. This technique was mentioned by Wayne Bozal. You can check out his tutorial, it's actually very nice and comprehensive. I'm going to link it in the description. So what I'll do is I'll just scale this reflector like this, GX to move it along, Then what I'll do is I'll press Shift D again, and then I'm just going to add in another reflector here, how to rotate like that, and then boom, I think we're done. Now to finish this up, for the reflectors, just uncheck this camera icon so that they don't show in your final render, and then you can scale. So unchecking this will make sure that they are not showing in your final render now. So if I show this now, you can see that this has made a lot of difference. This was before and this is after. You can see there's a lot of difference. Then for the word strength again, I'm just going to keep it like 0.5. I think 0.3 is too weak. Yeah, something like that would do. GX to move it along, and it's okay like that. That's super cool. All right, so and then for the power of the lights, I feel like it's too small too, so you can just keep it at something like 1,000 watts. All right, cool. All right, so what I would do is, just to avoid your scene looking empty, what you can do is you can just duplicate this iPod here. All right, so let's just move it around. So if I press G Shift Z to make sure it's only on my X and Y, I just want to move this along here, then I'll to rotate it a bit. Then what I want to do is I can just select this iPod like this, and then I'm just going to press Shift D, Shift Z to move it along my X. Then we can just show the back using another color. So what I'll do is I'll press R Y Y, and I'm just going to press 180 to show the back like this, just so that we're avoiding negative space in our scene. Then I'm going to change this color to, instead of making it green as well, I'm going to duplicate this folder by clicking on it, and then I'm just going to make it red. Alright, nice. And then what I would like to do is, for this as well, I feel like the value is too, so you can just move up the value of this, and that'll be alright. Cool. So now to finish this up, what I'll do is I'm just going to give it some eye contrast. So if I come right here, my color management panel, I'm going to change the look to very high contrast. Nice, cool, isn't it? That'll be all. You can just render this out, and that's everything. Alright guys, that'll be all for today's tutorial. Please, if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can show me your renders on Instagram. I'm at Shegun Ajayi 196. See you soon. Bye.